So I was scrolling through Facebook and I noticed a comment about magnetism from a friend of mine, and I was like, yo, such a good concept. So by trade, if you don't know this, I'm an MRI technologist, right? So I have to study how magnetic resonance imaging functions and all this stuff, the physics of it. What's interesting about magnetism is there's kind of a basic misconception, I think, in the way that we view what magnetism really is. So think about it this way. We think that a magnet is an attractor, right? That it exerts an attractive force on the world around it. And that's not really what happens. A magnet orders the world after itself. Let me say that again. A magnet orders the world after itself. So when you put a human in an MRI scanner, what happens is the majority of hydrogen protons in their body align with the magnetic field. They align with the field. That's how a magnet works. It just happens that iron and ferrous objects have a greater tendency towards that alignment, and therefore the net result of that appears to be attraction. That's what we see. It's a pulling force, but it isn't. It's an aligning force. And depending on the size and strength of that field, the greater that force is in terms of aligning things with it. And that alignment changes the physical world, right? This invisible force changing the physical world, the visible world, right? So let's extrapolate from that. Let's expand that or take it to a different degree or level and look at how human magnetism works, personal magnetism. You know, we think that we draw things to ourselves, and that's the result. That's what we see in the physical world, but that isn't the mechanism of action, right? We're not drawing things to us. The world around us is responding to who and what we are. See, I believe that humans exert a type of force. Call it a magnetic force, call it your aura, I don't care what it is, your energy, your vibe, whatever, but we exert an invisible force on the physical and visible world. And our personal worlds respond to that force, and the nature and character of that force is based on who and what we are, right? So let's look at an example. I may have two students that go out into the world, and then they have these wildly different experiences in identical environments, same clinical site. And it's like, okay, well, what's causing that? What's doing that to them? It's who they are and what they are. On a very fundamental level, the universe around you will order itself after who you are. That's important. So if you're bitching and complaining all the time, the result is your life is gonna suck, because that's coming from this deep and subconscious place in you that sees yourself as a victim, as the one that must respond to circumstances outside of their control. That is the most disempowering way of viewing the world. And when that is deeply rooted in you, your life is a result of that. And it is awful. I watch you be powerless and squander all this potential, this human potential that you have. On the flip side, if you have deeply rooted, empowering beliefs and ideas that kind of generate from the ground up this rich psychology, you're going to have a rich and amazing life. See, that's why it's important to become more. Not to act like you're better, not to try to smile your way into it or fake it till you make it, but to be that thing, be that person, to embody those ideas and to live them in an authentic way, and then the world responds, because that's how magnetism works. Your life is ordered after who you are. Think of the most magnetic, charismatic humans that you know in your personal world. These people exert a force on the people around them. They're incredibly compelling and persuasive in their arguments. They can make teams, they can build people up, they encourage. They do what appears to some to be impossible things. They do magic. They build companies. They make new products. They innovate. They make music that moves you. They do what most people find impossible. Right? That's coming from a deep place. It's who they are. And these people, it doesn't matter what the external circumstances are. It doesn't matter what happens to them in their lives. It's who they are that determines everything for them. Think about it.